What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of D McGee TV. I am your host, Demita McGee. I am the founder of Christian Business Academy Worldwide, and I'm so excited to be able to chit-chat with you today. Listen, the mission of this channel, the mission of the Academy is simply this. We want to help existing and aspiring entrepreneurs align their business with biblical principles. One small thing that you can do to support this mission is simply subscribe to this channel. You can also, if you're looking at this someplace other than YouTube, do me a favor, like it, comment. You can pop someone's name also in the comments, share with them if you think that it would be really helpful for them to understand. And if we are not connected, I want to connect. Let's do that. You can connect with me a couple of ways. This is my website. Hop on there. We got some tools and resources, but this is also how you can connect with me on Instagram and on Facebook. And so let's dig into the purpose of today's video. I want to talk to you about this concept that I learned from Napoleon Hill. It is this: ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. Let that marinate for a minute. Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. I want you to think about this for a moment. Every single thing that you see, everything started in someone's mind. It started as an idea in someone's mind. Think about it. The cell phone that you might be watching me on right now, that I know is attached to your hip, the computer that I'm recording on, the power lines outside, the couches, the chairs, the fireplace, TV, refrigerator, washing machine, dishwasher, microwave, stove, car, an airplane, a jet, a helicopter, literally everything. If you can see it, if it exists, it started in someone's mind. Now, how does that relate to biblical principles? How does that have anything to do with scripture, God, the whole nine? I want to point you to a book that I reference often, which is called Business Secrets from the Bible. And it is a book of 40 secrets. If you've been following me for any length of time, you have heard about this book. If we are just meeting for the first time, you will hear me reference this book quite often. The second secret in this book, and I've studied this book quite a bit, it says, an infinite God created us in his image with infinite imagination, potential, creative power, and desires. I'm going to say that again. An infinite God created us in his image with infinite imagination, potential, creative power, and desires. Now, there's a lot that I can talk about here, but the one thing that I want to point out really, really quick is that a lot of you guys have lost touch with your imagination. If you could just be a kid again and just dream again, there's so much you could start to accomplish all over again. But we're not going to get stuck there, but that's just one of the things I wanted to share with you this morning. But listen to this really quick. So if we take that information, and I thought, okay, in his image, we hear this all the time, in his image, and we hear this for the first time in Genesis in chapter 1, verse 27. It specifically says, so God created human beings in his own image. That's what it says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. That's the NLT version, by the way. What does that mean? You guys, I started to just do a little studying on what does it mean when we say in his image. Listen to this. This is powerful to me. This is really powerful. And I want to make sure I stick to my notes because I don't want to miss anything. So there's something we think about when we talk about the image of God, right? It refers to us as his creation. Okay. So it says that it refers to our creation as God's image, his unique representatives on earth. That's what we are. That's who we are. We are people. As people, we are literally God's agents. So we're functioning as he would if he were embodied. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to read this really quick out of some material that I was studying. This is so good to me. It says, the image of God is not a quality within human beings. It is what humans are. Listen to that again. The image of God is not a quality within human beings. It's what humans are. So it's who we are, not something we're made of, not parts of our personality, not characteristics of us. It's who we are. Every human, regardless of its stage of development, is an imager of God. This imaging is neither incremental nor partial, nor does it derive from a physical or spiritual ability. This is the point. Rather, it derives from being created as God's image. So I sat down for a minute and I was like, okay, how does this work? How does this work? How does this work? And how does this relate to business? And I'm going to make it all tie together. I promise I am. When we think about what God did, he created everything and then he created Adam. He gave him everything that he needed, and then he sat down and he created Adam. And then of course we also know that he created Eve from Adam's rib. And just as we saw in Genesis 1:27, he created him in his own image. In his image, he created them. So what we have to do as creators, created in his image, we are creators like him, is God created what Adam and Eve needed, everything they needed. What we do is we create what his other children need. So often you'll hear me talk about the fact that you have literally a God-given competitive advantage over anybody else in this world. There is something that is so unique about you, your experience, the transformation that you've undergone, what you've learned. There's something so unique about you, your set of gifts, your set of talents, your set of skills, your education. There's something so unique about you that you can do something and teach someone how to do that in a way that nobody else can. So that transformation that you've undergone, that skill set, those gifts, they're all incredibly valuable. And you create a service around that. So let's take a step back for just a second. Let's look at this concept of us being created in God's image and what that looks like. So I thought for some time, how can I make this make sense? Because the concepts, sometimes spiritual concepts, are so big that it's hard to understand cognitively for us. And so I thought about this and I thought about it and I said, what can make such a massive concept? How can we simplify it in a way that is understandable, like a bite-sized piece? So as moms, as parents, oftentimes before our children are born, what do we do in that 4th or that 5th month? Y'all know we get an ultrasound because we want to see what our baby looks like. And by the time you can figure out the foot from the head, the hand from the face, because it takes a minute, it all looks like some kind of electronic globule in the beginning. But by the time they teach us how to see it, and now we take that image home and we can show it to people like, oh, this is her foot, this is her head, look at her face right here. Like we can actually see it. And so we see that image. And for us, that image is a perfect representation of our baby who is coming into this world. And then our baby is born. And then our baby is so perfect. They have the most beautiful, amazing smell. Like newborns smell good. They feel good. Just everything about them is so perfect. I don't care how anybody else sees your baby. For you, they are just absolutely perfect, right? They're intoxicating how in love they are and how dependent they are on you. It's like an intoxicating type of love. And so you see them and they're perfect. And as they grow, they're still your babies. They're still your angels. But as they grow, they start to see these imperfections in themselves because now they see other kids in school and it's like, why doesn't my hair look like that? I like their hair better than my hair. Man, why do I have this big, huge spot on my arm or on my leg, a birthmark that we absolutely adore? Jalen, my son's birthmark, covered like most of his thigh. And then as he got older, it kind of shrunk a little, but it covered like most, it was this huge light spot all over his thigh. And so as kids get older, they start to notice those things and they don't like those things about themselves, but you still see them as that perfect little image that started with that ultrasound. That if you close your eyes today, your child can be 20, 30, or 45. It still will bring a smile to your heart and ultimately to your face. That's what you see, but that's not what they see. So I want you to take a step back. When God sees you, he sees you as the image in which he created you. He doesn't see you like you see you. Like you look in the mirror and you see all these imperfections. He doesn't see those. He sees that perfect child that he created. He sees that perfect image of himself that he created because he is perfect. And so he sees all of this beautiful perfectness in you. He sees you. He sees you the way he explained it in Jeremiah 29:11. He sees you in this way. He told us, for I know the plans that I have for you. I know those plans. They are plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That's how he sees you. So he already knows what your life looks like, even with your twisted nose that drives you crazy, even with that blemish that will not go away, even with that stretch mark that you absolutely can't stand, even with the fact that your 5-foot frame is not a 6'5" frame and you want to be so much taller because you think it looks better. Even with all the stuff that you see that makes you so imperfect to you, he sees you the way he created you. He sees you the same way you see your perfect baby in that image and you smell that perfect newborn. He sees you the way he created you. And so as a creator made in his image, our job is to create. That's what we do. So when we take a step back and we understand that as a creator, created in the image of our creator, the things that we have gone through, because God will not waste an ounce of your pain, the things that we have gone through, the transitions that we have had, those things, that makes us qualified. And so when you are sitting there and you are really unsure, when you are sitting there and you are really unconfident, I want you to remember what God said about you, not what you think about you, but who he says you really are, because he created you with a plan, with a purpose, and he knows that he has plans to prosper you, plans of good, no harm, plans for you to prosper. And so that idea that is in your heart, that idea that just will not go away, that idea that has been haunting you, that very idea, as Napoleon Hill said, is the beginning of where all fortunes start. But you, my friend, have to get started. I firmly believe that there is a business within everyone. Everyone. I fought for the freedom, time freedom that I have today. So this past month, my mom, she got pretty sick. Okay. We didn't know what was going on. She spent a couple of weeks in the hospital. And then even after she came home, she was not doing well at all. But guess what my time freedom allowed me to do? Be there with her 90% of the time that you could be, because visiting hours are no longer 24 hours in a hospital. 90% of the time that I could be there, that visiting hours, they were open, I was there. Why? Because I fought for the time freedom that I have. And it gives me the ability to be where I want to be, when I want to be, with the people I want to be with. That's what I fought for. But before you can get to that point, you actually have to get started. That's what's super important. So I want to encourage you today. The fact that you were born in the image of our creator means simply this. It's not a part of who you are. It's not a characteristic. It is who you are as a person. You are an image of God. And as an image of him, you, my dear, were born to create. What are you going to do with the power of the ideas that are in your mind? What are you going to do with the power that he placed right here in your hands? What are you going to do with that idea that's haunting you, that keeps coming up, that you're scared to execute? Now is your time. Now is your chance. It is your turn to create your very own signature service. And let me help you do it. Listen, there is still time to join the Start Your Business Bootcamp. There's still time. Take a look. So register today at bootcamp.damitamcgee.com. There is still room for you to join us in the boot camp. Listen, that is it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, if you enjoyed this message, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell notification so you actually get notified each and every time we share a new video. We are live every Tuesday, but you will get notified every single time we post a brand new video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you right here, same time next week. Bye for now, y'all.